Hello everyone and welcome back. I'm Duke Silver and today we're going to be playing Amateur. So Amateur's hero power is you get a level 4 treasure on turn 3.0. Basically just a mini version of Fisher King, which we played yesterday. Another one of my most played heroes, and I think you can sense a pattern. I like free stuff. Yeah, we're going to start off with a couple of Elaines with our flipped over Freed Prince here. It's getting a good chunk of stats nice and early here. We're going to throw sweet oranges onto one of these Elaines. Just make it a little bit bigger. Hopefully able to get a ranged attack off early in the fight and maybe get a 2-for-1. And then we're going to pick up two more talking frogs here. So with a couple of targeted spells, we could flip it over and combine it into an upgraded Freed Prince. But they are royal, so they get the royal aura anyways. And we hit our level 4 treasure, and it's Immutable Idol, just by far the best to hit on turn 3.0 with Amateur. So it's going to turn the character in our slot 1. It's going to turn them into a 14/14. It's going to set their stats to 14/14, which is important to note because if you put something in there that's bigger than 14/14, it will reset it back down to 14/14. But this early in the game, I mean, of course, we're just going to turn our Elaines into 14 power ranged characters, and then they also get the aura buff from our upgraded now Freed Prince, and yeah, they're just going to be huge. Also, it's the same effect as Consti, so Consti resets his own stats every turn, and it's very good with the Vamp Dagger, so that's what we're going to take here as well. We're just going to jam the Vamp Dagger on the slot 1 character for a little while, and kind of basically get some free scaling on it without having to lose stats. And also the stats on the dagger, of course, are going to enhance whatever we have in slot 1. We did sell an egg for Romeo just because we have such big ranged characters. I wasn't really worried about losing the fight, so getting some stats onto Romeo I think is very, very valuable. If you find a Juliet, then you just get a lot of stats that they can throw back and forth. And yeah, we weren't going to throw the egg in slot 1 anyways, so getting the gold out of it there I think was absolutely fine. We could just jam this Husky, but like we're not really in any danger of losing, so I think we're just going to take a roll. We really want to hit a Juliet if we can. There's a Future Vision, but I don't think that's what we want. Again, we're just going to take a roll looking for a Juliet. We get to combine our Elaines, and they are going to be a 28/28 base power. I mean, minus the stats that they've lost from the Vamp Dagger that we've had on her. And also, yeah, we've got the Chameleon here in slot 1, turning it into a 14/14 with the Vamp Dagger stats is going to hopefully guarantee us a slay, and it does. Opponent's Chameleon crashes into our Chameleon, but we deny their slay because of our idol. This game just really shows how powerful Idol is. Like, I mean, we've been down 2 to 3 characters every fight, but the amount of stats we've gained from this Immutable Idol is just really absolutely absurd. And there's another character that's very good in the Idol slot there. Putting Radiant Fairy, since Radiant Fairy, of course, is going to get the stats from the Vamp Dagger and become a 14/14. It's going to share those stats with another character on our board. So any character that gets double dip on stats or ranged characters are basically the premium Immutable Idol targets. Also, I kind of glossed over, but we did get a Galahad out of our Chameleon there. Speaking of Chameleon, we're just gonna take another Chameleon. We did get another Chameleon Slay that we just put on our board, and it turned into a grown-up Gretel. Not exactly the greatest. It's fine if you want to be hero attack, but that's not really what we're doing here. We just kind of have raw stats. I guess we're still kind of open to any direction. So this Galahad is of course going to put stats, put +7 plus, I think it's 3, +7 plus 3 to the characters on either side of him. Also has Unyielding. Unyielding is a real keyword, and is definitely pretty good. We could have just taken the spell there and guaranteed our Chameleon Slay, but it is going to get very large. This Vamp Dagger has been scaling for quite a few turns, and then once it turns into a 14/14 and gets the Galahad stats, yeah, it's up to 30 power and easily slays there. We could have waited for a turn to try and get a 6 out of it, but I figured I might as well just throw it in slot 1. I don't think we had anything that we really wanted to throw into this first slot there. We could have maybe done the grown-up Gretel, Since she does have very low base power, so with the aura effect, she would actually get a pretty decent little stat boost. Both Hansel and Gretel have, I think, base power of like 1/1 or something like that, and all their stats come from an aura. So if you increase their base stats to a 14/14, they do just straight up get +14/14, or +13/13, or whatever. So just something to think about. Just considering if we should sell here for the spell, and we do end up doing that. We get another Radiant Fairy as well, which we're going to put in the Immutable Idol slot, and then we're just going to throw some more permanent stats onto the other Radiant Fairy. Speaking of Radiant Fairies, we get to triple it, just like the Elaine's. The base stats are going to double, and yeah, we're going to get a lot of stats on this Golden Radiant Fairy. So 40 plus 40 or what do you call it? 44, 47. It's going to get doubled and go somewhere else on our board. If it hits a ranged character, then I mean it's like almost +100. So I would say that's a pretty decent chunk of numbers anyhow. Get a ghost fight here. Also, we picked up a Tempe here, which is going to obviously double the stats of all the items attached to it. It can carry 3 more items, so we can put all these vamp daggers that we've picked up. We can just jam them onto the Tempe here and get a lot of stats. There's an Admiri. We kind of have a path into dwarves here, but like especially Admiri, we don't really want to go into that right now. Just like with Admiri, you really need critical mass of both dwarves and items, and we do have only 3 items right now, even though they do have the items are pretty large. Like a multi would definitely be a lot more beneficial. Speaking of multi, there's a multi, and I think we do take it here. Yeah, I take the multi, so that's just going to further increase the size of this very, very large Tempe. As you can see, it kind of dwarfs anything that's happening on that side of the board. Alright, and we get a good boy in this shop. Look, we don't necessarily want to be dwarves. This is kind of almost the same pathway that we took into dwarves in my dwarf video a couple days ago. But again, I kind of resist dwarves whenever I can, and here we decided to just resist going into dwarves, even though we kind of had a decent little pathway. This Tempe was very large, but I think I'd rather just grab these good boys, and the good boys only have base stats of 2/2 as well. So Immutable Idol does give them a good what do you call it? A good little buff, anyways, and combined with our vamp daggers, this is kind of what you want to do with the vamp daggers if you're not playing dwarves. Is you just want to scale them up and throw them on a unit that really uses them very well, and good boy uses stats right up there with the best of them. So. Of course, we're gonna get Radiant Fairy. If Radiant Fairy double dips on stats, good boy, I guess quadruple dips, because it gives it to gives his stats to 3 other characters. And if we can get that upgraded, then it's gonna be quite large and also give double those stats. And we do get hit by a Circe's Cup there. Opponent, I guess opponent is just trying to stay alive here. We picked up a couple angels. They're both good characters. They both have Angelic Commander has Unyielding, and Archangel does have ranged. So if we can get just a bunch of stats, of good boy stats onto them, then they can do a lot of work with those stats. Speaking of stats, there's a Tyrannical Nero, which I think we are going to pick up. We don't want to play this Haymaker for too much longer. It's just not enhancing our board enough. But yeah, this Nero is going to put a bunch of food stats onto both our good boys, and then hopefully transfer that to the angels that we have here. And we picked up another Archangel, and we cut the Merlin. Merlin was only giving +8/+8. I mean, it's a good ranged character, so that's kind of why we're keeping it around. And we've got our Angelic Commander up front because, of course, each Archangel is going to allow 3 revives each of an angel, and yeah, so we just revive the Angelic Commander 6 times, and every time we slay, that Angelic Commander is giving all those stats that it had, or giving at least half those stats to the Archangels, which just could grow and grow and grow behind this what do you call it? This reviving wall of Angelic Commander up front. And yeah, we get the win there. This one was a pretty quick one. Ended on turn 15. Turns were pretty short. We didn't really have a lot to think about. We just jammed stuff into our Immutable idol and got carried by that treasure. And of course the Vamp Daggers, I guess. The Vamp Daggers really did come into play. You can see they're enhancing the good boy stats by quite a bit. And throwing those stats around was very strong. We didn't even need to triple the good boy, didn't need to triple the Archangel. No level 6 treasures anywhere in sight. Yeah. Just some good dogs, given some good stats. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this. Please leave a like, comment, subscribe if you did. I would very much appreciate that. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you tomorrow.